someone asked me for things about being a father while being a part of the furry fandom. A little backstory. I have a child. I also have a wife. I am married. We've been married for a very long time. This is nothing new. I showcase that everywhere I go. And the stuff with our child, he was born very early, 15 weeks premature. We actually spent over 300 days in hospital. So he is considered special needs. Once he grows up to be an adult at this point, he will generally have everything for him, and he should be able to be a normal, everyday person. You wouldn't even know that he was born premature. We're very lucky in that aspect. We went through hell. He had a trachea. He still has a G-tube. We have medical needs. He's also learning delayed because when you're born that early, things just go sideways, and you have to learn to do everything at a very, very slower pace than what you do. You know, we've had a lot of support where we are, and it has made things very difficult at times. Balance all of this and then pick up a hobby like this. Well, I've always been a YouTuber. I've been a YouTuber since my son was born. That was nothing new. Now, the balance has become, where do I go now? I find something that I am fascinated with, that I've picked up now as an absolute amazing hobby. And it's been, by itself, has been an absolute incredible journey. A lot of people that have been around the channel for a long time, I even had, when I said I started calling myself the Proud Canadian Phoenix, I had a few people reach out and go, you're going to be mistaken as a furry. And I said, so what? I'm like, that'll never happen. Well, 8 years later, look where we are. I'm in the middle of a VR chat, dressed up as a phoenix, telling you how it is to be a parent. Now, it is a lot different. I think I have a little bit more of an edge here than a lot of people find themselves in the fandom or even on VR chat at this point. I'm older, I'm finding this later in life, and I'm experiencing things in a very, very different mindset than what a lot of people go into. It's absolutely incredible to now have a place where I can reach out and speak to people that don't quite understand what I've been through, but at the same time, they have gone through a lot of struggles themselves. They find something that just brings more life to themselves. There has been some days where I have been on my knees wanting something more. Something that absolutely tears me at my soul. Now, I have spoken to counselors. I am actually set up to speak to an anxiety coach just to get through the facts of life. I've gone through hell and back. Probably one of the reasons why I've really taken hold as the phoenix as a symbol of hope. Why I've taken it as a symbol of rebirth and just a way to reinvent the wheel at this point, to push myself forward. Now, as a father in this circumstance, it's been a very, very difficult learning curve, let alone a father of someone that has special needs. It's kind of tipped my own self to a point where I needed something as an outlet. Now, I've always been a gamer. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast. I've played a lot of games, and that's what I find in the fandom now, is a lot of people that have the exact same interests as I have. It just happens to be that I'll don being a phoenix. Absolutely incredible at this point, being able to put together something like this and be able to sit there and speak out to it. Now, it hasn't all been daisies. It hasn't all been great. I've had my downs, I've had my ups, but in the last little while, it's been incredible. When it comes down to taking care of that child, a lot of the people that I've spoken to understand that yes, this is a hobby, this is something we do for fun, and they understand that real life comes first. And that's the point that I've gotten across several times at this point. Real life comes first. Everything else that happens just happens. It just falls into place at that point. I have found a lot of a therapeutical side of doing this, where I get to speak out to people when I'm frustrated, when I'm down. I get to sit there and talk to someone every once in a while. I just get to hang out. And sometimes even if I don't get to hang out with people, I still have that point where I can hop into this world, into these worlds, and have something more. The incredible worlds that you find in VR, some just are calming and relaxing, and you get to do something that a lot of people just don't. Honestly, I think we're in the golden age of VR at this point. I think it's starting to open up a lot more. You're starting to see a lot more add-ons for it. And when you hop into something like this, you see something that you can possibly be, and be something more. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of challenges. One is setting a routine for our child because he's special needs. Hasn't been diagnosed, but we highly suspect on the spectrum of autism, right? So we're going through that, and we're having struggles with that in itself because we can't get the proper needs to diagnose it because of all the complex medical issues. So we're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place in that sense. It really sucks. But at the same time, I've been able to speak to a lot of other people that just happen to know a little bit more. And it's kind of nice in that sense, being able to find people that have a little bit more of a leg up in that sense. So we're going through the motions of it, trying to find the supports, putting together a routine where I can sit back and go, okay, we have the routine. This also gives me a set time that I can try and make videos. That's why videos have kind of not been as scheduled as I like them to be. I used to do 2 videos a day. I've had to stop that because honestly, it wasn't doing me any good. It was actually bringing me further down into a hole, and now I'm digging myself out of it. Been very creative in that sense, having to come up with a creative time sense. Now, it is very, very unique at this point, because now, outside of when I'm not working, like I am during this video, I have something that I can sit there and do. And I actually have my little one. Every once in a while, he will climb up into the chair with me as I'm working on the model, or I'm working on an outline for something, or I'm just kind of going through the motions and doing things online. He'll climb up into my lap and he will sit there and just hang out. He absolutely loves being able to have a dad that's sitting there, being able to be there for him all the time right now, and it's absolutely amazing. We, at Christmas time, we got him a Squishmallow, and the Squishmallow is of a phoenix, and very, very warming to the heart. He turns to Mom, and he points at it, and he's like, Dad. What he sees right now is someone that he can look up to. Now, it's kind of funny, because there's times that I will be sitting there in my chair at my computer, and I'll be trying to do stuff with the VTube side of the avatar, and he will come up and he will squeal like a little kid. Well, he is a little kid, and he gets so happy seeing that. It's absolutely incredible. In some cases, he actually listens to the VTube avatar more than he listens to his own father at this point. Now, how do I balance all of this? Well, I just do it. I have the time where I get to be online. Part of the little one, part of what we go through is absolutely, it's kind of tragic in the sense because it's not something I like to do. My little one has to be fed by a pump. He gets fed by a G-tube that's hooked up as a line to his stomach, and we can't really do anything at that time. He needs to stay relatively still. He sits in a chair. The pump takes 40 minutes to do a feed, and we have to do this 4 times a day. In that time, it's quite boring because we can't do a lot of things. We can give them a coloring book. We can color with them. The only other thing that we have that's to our disposal right now, unfortunately, is like YouTube or trying to sit there to a show. And it really sucks because it's not the way that I envision being able to do things like that. You know, you can sit at the table with them, and it's a long time. Like, you got to think about this. It takes 40 minutes to do one feeding for my child right now, and we have to do that 4 times a day. So that's, what is that, 40, 80, 160 minutes? That's a long time for a child to sit there and do things like that. So, you know, I can put on a bit of a show, put on the avatar, and he will pay attention to that a little bit more, and it's all goofy at that point. Or I could sit there and do a puzzle with them, color. This is one of the other things I've taken up drawing. And he's actually taken an interest in what I draw. When I sit there and I draw something, he takes a big interest in it, and it's absolutely fantastic in that sense. I haven't reached out to a lot in the community, especially in the local community. I don't know a ton. I went to a con here in Edmonton, Alberta. That was my first real experience diving into a lot of this. Yeah, I watched some videos online. I spoke to some communities. I had joined up with a few communities, and you know, that's the way things go. And now I sit there almost a year later, after looking into all of this, finding something more, being able to have an outlook, being able to do something that brings me so much more joy and passion in life. No longer am I sitting here in front of the camera just being down and out and just getting pissed off with the world. Now I sit there in front of the camera going, okay, what can I talk about today? What is motivating for myself and possibly you? What is something that you possibly will care about? And how can I do it? How can I be goofy? How can I sit there and do all of these things? I have this community to thank for all of this. It's absolutely been incredible and honestly life-changing. Being able to sit there and hop into a world, being able to sit there and hop into this, being able to sit there and talk in Discord with people that I've learned to really be a friend to or have friends of. It's absolutely incredible. Honestly, wouldn't have this any other way, and part of me does regret that it took this long for me to find a place in the world that I feel makes a difference. I know that might sound strange, but yeah, I'm a dad. I have a kid, I have a family, we do all these things, and I try and put it all together. But then when I hop into the avatar, when I hop onto VR chat, I think this is a little bit more wholesome, and I think this really speaks to it, where you can sit there and do so much more with yourself online, and it's absolutely incredible in that sense. I really do enjoy just hanging out with people and enjoy just learning all the aspects and doing so much more and just being able to sit back and relax. There's times where I hop into a world, I'm like, okay, let's go watch a movie, right? And I open the world up, and I've had a bunch of people join every once in a while, and everyone that comes in, they're so kind and nice, and it's hard to explain, but whenever I do something like that, and I have people joining, it really does a 180 in your attitude. It really does something more, always having people out there that sit there and go, you know what, they're online, I haven't seen them in a bit, let's go talk to them, see how they're doing, see what's going on. And that's where really things do matter. We all go through crap in the world, and definitely I've seen it all. It's part of the reason why I think the Phoenix picks me at this point. I've been down there. I've been at the lowest of the lows. And now I get to sit there and rise above it all. Anyway, I am your Canadian Phoenix Cindershadow. I'm going to sign off here. Have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.